What's up, everybody, and welcome to the iReach podcast. I'm your host, Paul Robinson, founder and CEO of ConstructReach, a national consultancy and initiative that aims to diversify the construction, design, and innovation industries and empower a younger generation. Every single week, we are here merging education, industry, and culture with a variety of featured guests that you do not want to miss. So let's go, iReach. What's up, everybody? We are back here with another episode. And just like every time, we have some amazing guests. But this one right here is near and dear to me. We've got Miss Brenda Curry, who is calling in from, is it California today?
Yes, it's California today.
Yes. Welcome, Brenda. It is so good to have you here. It's always a pleasure. We've gotten a chance to get to know each other quite well over the last years, pretty much since the inception of ConstructReach. And so this relationship goes way back. And, you've been such an inspiration just to me personally in your career endeavors. And I'm sure your story will be an inspiration to others as well. So I just want to allow you to share what I already know, right? And when you share it, it's always a little bit different. So I'm learning in the process as well. But we just want to touch on just some things about your career and how that can be an inspiration to others who are looking into this industry, or, as you know, with our mission at ConstructReach, that may not even know, right, about their opportunities within the industry of construction. So let's take it back a little bit, to the genesis of how everything started. Like, tell us a little bit about your story, your journey, and then how that led into you getting into construction.
Sure. So I'm a native of LA, and I don't know if we want to go all the way back to that, but
take us back.
Yeah, but after finishing grad school at University of Southern California, USC, go Trojans, I was working as an engineer, okay? And on that path in corporate America, always wanted to have my own business in some way. But after being in corporate America as an industrial engineer for just a few years, that urge was growing more and more. So I was dabbling and doing things on the side, just that entrepreneurial spirit, trying to get it satisfied. No one in my family is in construction, or development. So it's not like a baton was being passed or any of those kind of things. And I was dabbling in real estate then. And there was an opportunity in the city. A big freeway was coming through South Central Los Angeles. And the carrot was out there for the opportunities that would be there for women and minorities and all of those things. And it's just like, okay. And, I was dabbling in construction, as I said. So I got my contractor's license while I was still working as an engineer. And after getting it kind of started, I took a leap of faith and took a leave of absence from being an engineer and did the construction full time. And after being in it for a few years, I had to make it work. I figured I was marketable. I could always go back to work for someone else, but I wanted to, have my future in my own hands. So, that's how I got involved in construction.
Yeah, no, that is an amazing story. I tell you, just to take that leap of faith, when you have a secure position and then to make this endeavor into the unknown, right? Where it solely depends like on you and how much you were grinding and how much you were putting into it. Talk to us a little bit about that, because, you have a lot of people that desire to do certain things. They dream about doing certain things. Their heart may be in another place, right? But they are motivated by the fear of the unknown. And so they remain where they know they shouldn't be. How did you get through that?
Well, that I want to speak to it from how I was feeling then versus some 40 years later, how I'm feeling now about that decision. But at that point, I guess I was always a risk taker and didn't know it. And like I said, for me, it wasn't a big risk because I could always get a job. I'm a Black woman with a master's degree back at that, okay, I can go someplace and get a job as an engineer. I'm unique.
Yes.
Of course, my father was like, basically, you're going to leave a good government job, to go to. And it was just like, yeah. And he was like, talked about it. He's like, okay, yes, I got you. I'm behind you and those kind of things. But I didn't want to say if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, had I done it, or any of those kind of things. And then was the time to do it. No children, none of that. So what was at stake? Really. And now, having been in business, because everything is about risk, and about fear and the unknown. And for me now, I can put that into words. I know what that feels like because I'm doing that every day. And as I grow the business and as I just live. So the unknown, it can be two things for me. If you are afraid of it, that's fear. And you're looking at the negative aspect of it. What if it doesn't work, or any of those kind of things? It's still the unknown. So fear demobilizes you so you can't move. Faith still deals with the unknown. But you figure, and you are looking at it in a positive way, that of course it's going to work out because I have faith. Everything about my faith is the unknown. So the unknown is not fearful. Yeah. It allows me to exercise my faith.
Ah, that's good. That's good. See, look, you're telling the story and I'm still learning here.
I'm a little wiser, huh? Every day I get a little bit wiser.
That's the goal. That's the goal, right? Get a little wiser, right? That is good. That is good. So, we're talking about the business that you started in the industry of construction, right? That company is called Curtom Dunsmuir. So tell us a little bit about the company, where you all are based at, and then what type of work that you all specialize in.
Right. So the company that I started is Curtom Building and Development Corporation, and that company still exists. In 2000, I joint ventured and created a partnership of Curtom Building and Development and Dunsmuir Construction, hence Curtom Dunsmuir. So, the type of work that we do and that Curtom does alone, all of that is, we are a preferred builder for Target and have been for, I guess that's 22 years now. So we do big box retail, and we'll do anything in that, in terms of new construction, remodels, additions, whatever is required of our client, that's what we do. We also do affordable housing, and with the public-private partnerships, where often there are public dollars involved with nonprofits or those kind of things. So we enter into that as the general contractor, as a part of the team, or as a developer as well. So, and some of our, so we have to be in several markets, and you do in any business. You can't put all of your eggs in one basket. So we do in the financial institutions. So with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of those, we build for them as well. So, we have, and, in Inglewood, we are located in Inglewood. And Inglewood is what's happening right now with SoFi Stadium, with the Chargers and Rams being there. And we were a part of some of the construction on that. The Forum, which was the home of the world famous Lakers. And, we worked on that project for that renovation, when it was revitalized. The Intuit Dome, which is where the Clippers are going to be housed, is in Inglewood. And, we're involved on that project. So, we have our hands involved in a lot of things.
Yes, that is good. Yeah, but that diversification of where you work and the type of projects that you work on, that's well, it speaks to just the savviness, the understanding of kind of the need to do that. Like you said, not putting all of your eggs in one basket, doing, commercial and residential, and then with various partners. What is it about the construction industry that attracted you? I know you had the business mind and you wanted to go in business for yourself. And of course, we've seen, just how well equipped you were to do that with having a long-standing, career as a businesswoman and growing and continuing to do so. When you begin to venture into construction and then you got into it, right? Because it's been a while. So what was it that kept you in this industry and saying, you know what, I just want to look at a completely different sector?
Mm-hmm. Well, the motivation, even in making that leap, was I wanted to be involved with something that would make a difference in communities, to have impact. And I thought about early on, right out of college, running for an office, an elected official, politics and those kind of things. And very quickly decided that that's not quite for me, so.
I can see that.
So I can do that in the shadows without all of the other stuff that goes with it. So that was really the point. And whatever it was I was going to be involved with, it needed to make a difference. And, I was brought up in the Watts community, South Central and all of that. And, the stereotypes and those kind of things that are associated with inner cities. And it's just like, no, the beauty and what's in here, we need to be doing something to build from within to make a difference. So that was the importance of it. And in construction, and I wanted a business to be able to do that. So from the economics of it, to be able to employ people, to be able to change communities, with affordable, and I am a developer as well, and, have a development company that we would go and do those types of things in different places, different states. And with that, it's to identify the opportunity early and to be able to make a difference. How do you switch the communities? By empowering the people that live in it. So with us building, we have at least 15, 20 other companies, subcontractors that work for us. We're able to create an opportunity for other women, minorities, small businesses, all of those kind of things. Number one, to be on our projects. And then to go deeper, to insist that who works for them, the actual workers on the project, which has how you tie in and ConstructReach and all of that, is just like, we have to be just using the community, the people who live there and need to work there, and we have to create the opportunity. So it's very personal about that. And then that's just how we do business. It's not what's imposed on us. Yeah. That's my heart. And we do that wherever we go.
Yeah, no, that is great. That is great. And this is why, first and foremost, love talking to you just about your journey, your story, how you are leading, right, your company and navigating through this industry, because it's an industry that it doesn't look like you and I. Talk to me a little bit about your journey as a Black woman coming up, right, and getting that respect and being able to be successful in this industry that doesn't have too many Black females that are in your position.
Yeah. So one thing is to be comfortable about being the only one. Okay, that had to be there first. So there's comfort in it, and not to be frustrated and angry about that fact, but to know, okay, that's what I'm dealing with. How do I make a difference here, and how do I maneuver through it? And it's the same thing within business in the different arenas, or who our clients. It's what are the rules? How do I get paid? What does it take? What is it? What are the rules of this game in construction? And what are the rules, client, for you specifically? So I go in from it not with an understanding of, well, I've done this before, I've been in construction and all of that. I come in from management, with that kind of master's degree and that kind of education. So it's like, okay, let me figure out what it is. What's the game plan? How do I get through this? And the ultimate goal is to have a successful project and to get paid for the work that's being done. So when I know all of that, I'm able to then construct how we maneuver through it. So it's the same way with the relationships. I mean, the good old boys were were and are strong, you know, to understand. At first I didn't understand that, okay, when you do everything that is necessary, and it's like, okay, if I did all of this, therefore it's like, boom, okay, I'm ready. And then it's just like, how'd you get through that? You know, basically it was what was the unspoken. Well, but this is really, here's another thing, you know, to get the rules added on. It's just like, okay, so that becomes, you know, you have to create a temperament for that. And in understanding really the rules is, manipulation is a hard thing. Instead of being manipulated, how do you manipulate what's there and to get the power with it? I had to be a part of creating some organizations, you know, on a state level and those kind of things, and locally, so that it's not just one voice speaking. I'm speaking for the voice of many, and the voice of, you know, minority contractors in one situation. And from that, you know, was appointed to boards by, you know, judges and those kind of things, you know. So it's now strategically, it becomes not just so much of what the rules are and what's on paper, but the relationships and how you create your network around that as well. So it was like, okay, I wanted to stay away from politics, but I got to be into this network in a way that is efficient and effective. So to really maneuver, I got to put 50% of my time into that, or a good percentage of it, and into running the business, because that's a part of running it. So, you know, that dynamics was there. And, you know, you may not have ever heard me say this, Paul. I don't know if anyway, there would be situations where I'm at a banquet or a dinner or in a situation, a very social situation. Okay, number one being, if not the only woman that's owning something there, but okay, that's it, being with her. And then perhaps being the only Black person as well, okay, in a place where you know that it's unusual for your presence to be. Am I saying these words right? Politically correct, you know what I'm saying? So then, you know, as it gets later into the day, it's like, okay, I got to get in, see who I need to see, do what I need to do, and get out before too much alcohol is consumed, so I don't have to deal with something else.
Yeah.
You know, and that's very real. That's very real. And to be able to know that, so that, you know, it's like, why, and to this, why do we have to even work as Black women, or as whoever, the other, have to deal with that unspoken kind of thing, and not to put yourself in a situation so that it has to come up. So with that, I try to maneuver out of situations where I would have to exercise my voice, you know, whatever that is. But, you know, so with that now, it's just like, okay, I got it figured, you know, I analyze the situations very early on and make conscious choices about, thank goodness for having been in here long enough to be able to choose the environments and relationships and business that we pursue.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. You know, I mean, there's so much into that, because early on, it's like, you know, you feel like you need that, or you need that, or you need that. And so you could chase that, but then find yourself in situations that you really don't want to be in. And so to be able to understand how to navigate through that, and then now be at a point to where, right, I could pick and choose, you know, I think that is very good. But I also heard in there, which is good, and I want to make sure I bring this to the forefront. Not only just it's the servant leadership piece, right? Because as you started a company, you wanted to create a company that can make a difference, understanding that you would employ, right, a workforce essentially, and understanding, okay, I've got to steward this position properly so that others can reach their potential, and replicating that, right, so that we could transform the communities, you know, that I come from. But also knowing that in addition to doing that, there's got to be relationships that I'm intentional about with people who operate in other spaces, to maximize the experience and the opportunity for those who may not have, right, that opportunity to do it themselves. And so being able to develop those relationships, not necessarily, going for office, but establishing those relationships with people that do have, the role and responsibility that influences our life experience, if you will. And I think that is very important, because a lot of times we can just kind of remain in our circle. We can look at the obstacles and, kind of go, woe is me, and be very bitter and operate from that position of bitterness and with this chip on your shoulder.
And that is so true. You've got to have something that can employ people, and that is not of just of notoriety, what's the right word for it, but you have to have an infrastructure and a company that's in place so that it can make a change.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have to be able to exist in a very vibrant way in what is our reality. Now, we can change that by who we bring in, but this is our reality, and we make a difference with it when we are successful in it. And we don't step outside of it. We forge through, we make a difference. And what always happens is folks are like, they're surprised. I had no idea. Now you become the favorite, and I think of it with my daughter, because, she's a young woman coming up, an entrepreneur, an artist, those kind of things. And, was a rocket science at Stanford, and, see some of these same things. And it's like the next generation of what the foundation that's been laid, to be able to say, oh, why are you surprised? Not to lead with it, understand that you are, but to change that narrative. Don't be surprised that I'm here, that I'm in this space, and it was our generation and the generations before, as they went through those doors, it was like, okay, you're breaking barriers, so yes, folks are going to be surprised. That's what you talked about at home. You don't have a conversation out in public about that. It's just like, oh yeah, it's great, and yeah. But what's true? What has your name on it is yours. Nobody else can take it, and if you speak it and are prepared for it, when the opportunity comes, you can seize it. So all of those things that kind of weigh you down, and the baggage that gets you frustrated and feeling like I can't, and oh, woe is me, and here we go again. It's just like, well, that's a part of it. It's a choice. I often remind myself, I chose this, and this is what comes with it. I could make another choice and not have to deal with this. We're going to deal with something. But when I remind myself of that, it's just like, okay, let's go.
What has been your proudest moment?
There are so many. There truly are so many. But to be able to drive around, or, we're doing a thing now just to have a map and put pins in where we've been and where the business that we have affected, and to be able to look at that and say, like, wow, we've made a difference, and we're still here. And it looks good. It's something that you can be proud of. So it's not any one thing in particular. I don't ever consider myself successful or to have arrived, but on this journey, it's been good, and it's what was set out to do, to make a difference, and to be able to be here to see the benefits is what makes a difference. And when you see someone, folks who have started with us as a laborer, for example, and they're a project manager now and have been touched every job within our company, and they're still there, and they're growing, and it's just like, that's what this was about.
Yeah, no, that is very good. So what would you want? Because of course, we have these discussions all the time. We know that the industry is in need of more talent, and there's a lot of upside with this industry. Of course, just your career and shedding light on that and speaking to it is a testament to that. But what would you want any young person that may be on the verge of trying to decide what they want to do from a career perspective? What would you want to tell them about this industry?
Um, I think one of the biggest things is any desire or passion that any person has can be satisfied in construction. You know, we think of it as very defined, you know, and that's to put up a building, you know, as a carpenter, plumber, electrician, just those kind of things. But it is so vast because is it not one of the major industries in the world? You know, and so if you wanted to be an attorney, you could be a construction attorney, you know. If you're in marketing, you know, if you're in developing, accounting, you know, really whatever your heart's desire is. And if you have a desire and an ability, you know, artistically and that kind of things, could that not be architecture, you know? So it's just to take the blinders off and just to say, and this is an industry right now that's looking for young people. It's looking for young people and looking for people in general, you know, but specifically young people, because we've got to be very intentional about having a workforce there and folks that are in this industry so that it will thrive, you know. So just that, you know, it is so vast, and I didn't know that, you know, when I got into it. It was just like, okay, you know.
But that's you know, I think that's one of the benefits of being able to surround yourself with people that are where you want to be, but also just expanding your network to have a diverse network, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and you have to be in contact with people that can shed light on some things that you weren't even made aware of. So thank you, Brenda. I appreciate you being on, as always.
Always, and it is such a pleasure to be with you, to share some thoughts, and to have been invited on. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning into our show. Remember, like, share, subscribe to the podcast, and join the movement as we reach to build a better future that we can all be proud of.